Oh my, oh my, oh my, not good, not good, not good!
Ugh, what are you guys doing in here?
They're trying their best to unimpress me. Mission accomplished.
Nancy! Hi! Joe was just, making an effort.
Oh, that's what that smell is.
I tried showing him the ropes, but he wants to prove he can do it without my help.
Tegan set out the ingredients for Johnny cakes before she had to run, but I gotta admit, it's been a while since I last whipped something up. Successfully.
Oh, I love Johnny cakes. I can help.
Of course you can. All right, Hardy, step down before we have another fire on our hands.
All right, let's see. Step 1, 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar. This can't be right.
I told you I couldn't keep up with her, so I improvised. I'm 100% certain about the amounts, though.
Let's approach this sensibly. What do we need? 1 cup of flour.
We're getting there.
1 cup of cornmeal.
Looks right to me.
1 spoon of sugar.
We're getting there.
1 spoon of sugar.
We're getting there.
1 spoon of salt. Baking powder.
We're getting there.
1 teaspoon of salt.
We're getting there. That looks great. Let's tackle the next step.
All right, second step. We have to fill the bowl until the weight is just right.
Quick heads up, this is about where things started to go south last time.
Hey!
Let's just trust that Nancy knows what she's doing.
That looks great. Let's tackle the next step. Finally, my favorite part.
I thought your favorite part was eating.
My next favorite part.
Dear goodness.
Joe, could you help me pour while I flip?
Sure thing. Here comes some more.
Only a few more. Relax, there's no need to rush.
All done. They look super tasty. Let's eat.
Interesting. Let's begin. Who deserves a Johnny cake? Almost done. This came out great. Deirdre acts tough sometimes, but who doesn't get happy from eating homemade pancakes? Let's see. I'll do this one. More Johnny cakes coming up. few more. Absolutely adorable. I think Frank would like these. Let's begin. Who deserves a Johnny cake? Absolutely adorable. These are for Joe. On second thought, I guess he would eat any of them. Interesting. I'll do this one. More Johnny cakes coming up. Almost done. Only a few more. Look at you. These are for May. Hope they make her happy. Interesting. Let's begin. Who deserves a Johnny cake? Only a few more. Absolutely adorable. I'm sure Tegan will love these. Interesting. Let's begin. More Johnny cakes coming up. Almost done. I need to make more like these sometime. Something for Lauren. With everything that's going on, maybe these can take her mind off things. Interesting. I'll do this one. Time for some cooking. Almost done. Only a few more. Spooky. Look at you. These are just what I imagine Olivia would like. These are just what I imagine a little.
Ooh, these smell delicious.
Great job, Nancy.
These look amazing.
Okay. May, these are the Hardy brothers, Frank and Joe.
We're very interested in your case.
Uh-huh.
They're good friends of mine. They're going to help us with the investigation. The more people we have working on this, the better chance we have of solving the case.
Cool.
Joe, you need to learn how to cook. Maybe let Frank teach you. Otherwise, how are you going to impress anyone?
Solving crimes impresses people.
So does committing them. What? It's true. Not saying I'm impressed by that. Just stating a fact. I prefer someone who possesses a deep intellectual appreciation and table manners.
You want to be impressed? We should finally show her our business plan for our new business. What? It's very businessy.
What? What is it?
Well, Joe and I have been talking recently about making things a bit more official. Since we're always called to solve crimes, we thought that maybe we should start getting paid for it.
We're starting our very own detective agency. License, insurance, the whole thing. And
And we want to know if you'd be interested in being a partner.
A partner?
Hey, table that. All right, Drew. Why not update everyone on where we're at?
So, I guess you're wondering about the thing I mentioned.
yes, sounds super exciting.
I already told them about the whole sighting.
Yeah, I can't explain it. Yet.
Even with the most modern scientific techniques available, there are many phenomena that we still cannot explain. I believe what you saw was real.
What?
What?
Sure, some sort of combination of gaseous blow-off and light refraction.
No, supernatural. A ghost, a real ghost, with thoughts and memory and agency.
I'm not so sure.
I just built some new equipment that I'd love to try out.
I'm sure it's nothing, but we'll go to the cemetery today and investigate anyway. Maybe we can add ghost hunting to our detective services. Kidding.
One thing I'd like to do today is check the town archives.
If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to handle this. You were gonna look into the history of ownership of the Hathorn house, right?
Yeah, sure. We can go together.
No. It's better if I handle this solo. I'm a whiz with microfiche. Don't ask me why.
Sounds like a story.
And I'm not going to tell it to you, okay?
So, Nancy, what do you think we should focus on for the investigation?
Judge Danforth mentioned that he was the victim of a burglary.
What was stolen?
We don't know.
The judge was working with Tegan on developing a case for the Accused Witches organization.
The what?
The descendants of the accused witches of the 1692 Salem Witch Trials. They're staking a claim to the Hathorn estate due to unjust dispossession and execution of their ancestors. It's one of the reasons I searched for the Book of Apologies in Austria, as it contains a record of wronged families. But someone swiped it from right under my nose. And around the time of the arson, there was a burglary at the judge's office.
Too coincidental not to be connected.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'd like to review the crime scene at the courthouse for any clues.
The judge might not let you do that. He didn't sound very forthcoming.
True. But maybe my father can convince him. They're old friends. I can give him a call.
All right, what else?
The arson that happened last week.
And we haven't had the chance to collect any alibis yet.
We need to ask everyone we've met where they were on the night of the arson. Corroborating their answers with whomever they were with will help bring into focus who is and isn't a suspect. We need to figure out how the theft from Mosam Castle is connected to this case.
Theft of what?
The Book of Apologies. My dad asked me to retrieve it from Mosam Castle in Austria, as a favor for Judge Danforth, who works here in Salem. It details all the victims of the witch trials, some of which are still unknown to this day.
However, this book was stolen as well, 3 days ago, when Nancy was there.
Why was this book all the way in Austria?
Great question.
The resident historian told me the judge who wrote the book willed all his belongings to be preserved by whichever museum would have them at the time. That must be how it ended up in an Austrian castle, for safekeeping.
Well, that certainly didn't stop the thief, whoever it is.
I can ask around about alibis during this time period as well. See if anyone in town can't be accounted for. Might point us in the right direction.
I have something to add. Whoever is responsible for this crime is going to great lengths to cover it up. We don't know if these people are dangerous. Remember that. And be careful.
Wait, is this for me? Really?
You don't like it. I thought a pirate would be right up your alley.
Oh, wow. It is a pirate. I didn't even notice. I mean, sure. Yeah, it looks good, I guess.
Feel free to have at it.
Sure. Thanks.
Hey, are you feeling any better about the case?
Nope.
We're going to find out who did this, May. I promise.
If you say so. Look, thanks for breakfast. I just want to say, I know you're trying to help, but I think you're wasting your time.
People tell me there's a good reason to suspect you, but no one can say why.
Isn't it obvious? I've got a burn mark covering the entire side of my face and like most of my arms. It must be me.
I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm sorry if people judge you for your burns.
I prefer it to pity.
Would you tell me what happened?
There was a fire. I was in it.
I'm not trying to pry. It's just that so far, the main cause for suspecting you of the Hathorn fire seems to be this previous one. I only want to understand.
I was 9. It was an old shed, and I wasn't supposed to play in it. It was kind of a den full of stuff, like candles. I got stuck inside. You can work out the rest.
So it was an accident. You were just a kid. Harsh to suspect you now because of something you didn't mean to happen.
Don't make me talk about it more.
Okay. Thank you for telling me, May. You said you used to hang out at the Hathorn house, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever see anything strange when you were there?
Like ghosts?
Yeah.
No. Never.
Oh, okay. Do you feel ready to talk about your alibi?
I don't even have a passport. I don't go anywhere, so I wasn't in Austria, if that's what you're thinking.
And on the night of the arson? Giving us your alibi would help you so much. Talk to you later. Done. This looks great. Now to find a nice place to put it.
Oh, wow! So cute. I love pumpkins. Did you really make this for me?
I thought you'd like it.
I really do. We always used to carve pumpkins at home for Halloween when we were kids. This brings back memories. Thank you. Nancy, hey, how's the investigation going?
Pretty well. You know, it would really help if I could get May to talk to me.
She hasn't given her alibi yet.
No. And everyone seems to have one, except her.
Everyone? Is it possible that it could be someone from outside of town? A visitor or something?
Absolutely. But statistically speaking, crime is rarely a random occurrence.
It's a mystery to me. You have anything you wanted to talk about?
What's the history behind the Hathorn estate?
Right. Well, Judge John Hathorn was born and raised in Salem. His father was a decorated military man who had many real estate holdings throughout New England. And when Judge Hathorn became a justice, he tried to expand those holdings. Much of the land that the Hathorn estate was built on was actually seized property from accused witches.
So awful. I think the land stealing part was even mentioned in Olivia's tour.
Didn't expect her to actually care about the history. At the time, no one made the connection, not even in court documents. But it happened.
Do you think the fire is somehow related to Salem's history with witches?
What do you mean?
Like, is it meant as a symbolic gesture? Because that's how most witches died?
That was a European thing. No, they were more civilized in the New World. We hung our witches. Short drop, so they slowly choked to death. A couple more died in custody awaiting trial, and one, an elderly man who refused to testify, was pressed to death.
Pressed?
Yeah. They put a bunch of heavy stones on top of you, over a period of days.
That's horrible.
She did not know the weight until she felt the freedom. Scarlet Letter. Also a descendant of Judge Hathorn. Except Nathaniel Hawthorne was so horrified with his family's history that he added a W to change it.
Wow. The focus on descendants isn't really something they teach you in school.
Yep. We think our world is so much more advanced now, but we have a hard time escaping our past.
Where were you on the night of the fire?
I was at my boyfriend's watching a movie. Here, this is his number. You can ask him.
Have you been dating Damien for a long time?
Yeah, a couple years, I think. I like him. I mean, I really do. He listens to me. Yeah, he's great.
Was he with you the whole night?
I mean, most of the night. I don't think he's capable of arson, if that's what you're suggesting.
You trust him?
Absolutely, 100%. Go ahead, call him. You'll see.
How did Francis Tuttle come to own the property?
Ms. Tuttle bought it 30 years ago, cheap. It was falling apart. The former owners couldn't be located, so it was auctioned. She was a bit of a kooky lady living in a ruin like that, but she was kind. I mean, she took in Lauren like a daughter. That says something about someone, doesn't it?
I agree. Do you remember what you were doing 3 nights ago?
3 days ago? Well, I was probably working here. Why?
You were working at the museum. Can anyone confirm that?
Well, I'm always here.
But was anyone else here?
May was home all day, laying low, and Olivia wasn't here either. I don't know where she was, to be honest. You'll have to ask her.
So no one can confirm that? And you're sure May was at home?
She's barely left the house since the incident. People here treat her like she has an infectious disease. It's awful. And I don't blame her if she wants to sit at home on her phone all day. Ugh. Her parents need to come home. Soon. So, I gotta ask. What do you get out of this?
I get a lot.
Really? You travel around, talk to all these people, deal with all their problems, put yourself in harm's way?
Not always. All right, some of the time. I don't know. It's like there's these small obstacles that I enjoy working on, and they're interesting. But what I really love is the puzzle of humanity. What makes people tick? Why do people do what they do? It's always the hardest one to crack, because sometimes we do things that don't make sense. We're inherently irrational. Know what I mean?
You know, there's a theory about why these specific women were persecuted as witches. Some people believe that ergot, which is a fungus that grows in cereal grains, might have gotten into the food supply. It poisons anyone who eats it. Hallucinations, circulation issues, seizures. It would have made people look like they were possessed. Or made the judges think they were doing God's will. Or make the whole town go haywire.
A rational explanation for irrational behavior.
Just a theory. We'll never know. Anyway, I don't want to keep you. Thanks for stopping by.
Can you tell me about the accident May was in when she was a kid?
Why do you need to know that? How is it important?
I didn't think it was, but everyone else sees reason to believe May is the one who burned Hathorn House. So that makes it important, I know.
It started with the arson, and she has other convictions on her juvenile record as well.
What happened?
It was an old shed near our home. May was about 9 or so. She was in it one night. She shouldn't have been. Playing with candles, a lighter, I don't know. It caught fire. She was charged.
She was so young.
I feel responsible. She shouldn't even have been there, and I'm the older sister.
It's not your fault. I'm sorry to upset you. It helps me to understand.
Just don't talk to May about it, please.
Talk to you later. Hey there, girl. Can't tell if you're supposed to be cute or creepy.
Did you make this for me?
Yep. And look, it's got a witch on it.
Oh, how fitting! A witch cake for the resident witch! Aren't you just the sweetest? So thoughtful. You know, seeing this, I think you might have some magical energy flowing through you. With enough flair and a touch of charisma, you could really go a long way as a witch.
Thank you, but I've got my career goals set a little differently. Enjoy the food.
Did you make this?
Yep.
Oh, how fitting! A witch cake for the You know, seeing this, I think you might have some magical energy.
Thank you, but...
You're back! Great. Let me guess. More questions?
Spooky how you could tell.
Though it harm none, do as thou wilt.
Okay.
I'm saying I guess it can't do any harm.
I've been going around asking everyone in town where they were on the night of the arson.
The night of the what?
Arson? At Hathorn House?
Why, I have no idea what you're talking about. Kidding, Nancy. Don't look so serious. I was here that night, doing my thing. I think there had to have been at least 20 people who can confirm that. It really stinks that Lauren is going to lose her home.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, of course.
So, I've heard ghosts are haunting Salem.
Of course.
You believe it?
How could I not when I've seen them with my own eyes?
Really? Can you describe what you saw?
Sure. It was dark, foggy. I was walking through the cemetery. Or was it the town square? I don't remember, but I do remember a ghost. No, multiple ghosts. Spirits.
And did you ever see any ghosts near Hathorn House?
As a matter of fact, I did. I told you that a coven of witches unleashed them on the town a few years back. They will not rest until they get their vengeance. Let me guess. You can't find proof of a living soul present at the house the night it burned. Maybe the culprit wasn't among the living?
That sounds even harder to prove.
Have you seen the restless souls of Salem, Nancy?
I've seen something, but I'm not willing to just believe it's real. I need more.
Be careful. They'll still find you whether you believe in them or not. You might want to avoid the cemetery.
3 days ago, were you doing any witch tours?
3 days ago? No, I was not.
Okay. You remember what you were doing?
Actually, I had won a spa holiday at the Wayfarer Inn over in Marblehead. It was amazing! They used those glass cup things on my back. It was wicked crazy.
Oh. You have any receipts or...
It was all expenses paid. And I'd show you my back, but I'm a quick healer. Witch powers. It looks like it never happened. You know, I had a flyer for the spa, but I threw it away this morning. Sorry, I know I'm not being helpful.
It's okay. You are. Thanks. See you later.
No, not today. I can't. There's too much to do.
Come on, take a break. You need it.
Jason, I have had these protesters outside my window nonstop for days. I must deal with this situation. The longer it goes on, the worse it looks.
Yeah. Ooh, but I'm buying lunch.
You're buying? Really? With what?
You gotta get over this, Dad. It's not good for you. It's not healthy.
What are you talking about?
You resent me.
I don't resent you, Jason. Miss Drew, please, come in. We'll talk later, okay?
Oh, you have time for her, but not for me.
Please, Jason.
Hi, Jason Danforth.
Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew. You're visiting Salem, yeah? What do you think? Kind of a boring town beneath all the legends.
Jason, come on. We have a meeting.
Actually, it seems like there's a lot going on here.
Well, whenever you're up for some real excitement, look me up.
I'm sorry. He's still trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life.
Didn't want to follow in his father's footsteps.
Oh, he tried. Didn't have the dedication to follow through with the schooling. Anyway, let's get started.
As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
Information isn't usually available to the public. I'm afraid I can't just take your word for it. I'll have it taken care of.
As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
Information isn't usually available to the public. I'm afraid I can't just take your word for it. I'll have it taken care of.
Hey, you reached Carson Drew's home number. For business inquiries, please call my office and I'll get back to you. Anyone else is welcome to leave a message after the beep. Hello?
Is this Damien Faulkner?
Yeah? Who is this?
Hi, my name is Nancy Drew. I'm a private investigator currently working the Hathorn House case on behalf of Judge Danforth. Do you mind if I take up a minute of your time?
Go ahead.
Just wanted to follow up on some statements.
Statements made by who?
Tegan Perry,
Yes?
your girlfriend.
Right.
Where were you?
Sorry, but were these statements given to the police?
No. They were given to me, willingly.
Yeah, sorry. I work for Alicia, and I've learned to make sure that when you're being questioned, you always have a lawyer present. I don't want to sound like I'm guilty or complicit, I just know my rights.
Of course.
But you sound trustworthy.
Oh, thanks. How long have you worked for Alicia?
I've interned for her for a while, but she doesn't really pay attention to me.
You seem to know a lot about legal framework.
I listen to her on the phone. A lot. Anyway, I was with Tegan on the night of the fire. That's what you wanted to know, right?
Yeah. And what did you guys do?
Watched a movie.
Okay. Which movie?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. Take it fixed. You know, they're always some kind of vampire drama, apocalyptic, teenagey, angsty thing. Don't tell her, but I never pay attention. I'm into hard sci-fi.
Oh, good to know.
Anything else, or?
No. Thanks for talking to me.
Yep, sure. Bye.
Hello? Deirdre?
Help me!
Deirdre!
I got you. Deirdre 1, Nancy 0. Ugh, you're so gullible.
It's not funny.
Come on. Yes, it is. You know what? I like it. Because now I know how much you care.
Of course I care, Deirdre. Despite your best efforts.
Well, anyway, I have some information for you. Frances Tuttle? What do you know about her?
She's the former owner of Hathorn House.
What? That's it?
Well, I thought you were going to research.
It all goes back to Frances Tuttle. Check it out. She took over the Hathorn House estate in 1992. Although I found 3 different marriage announcements in the Salem News, she was never married and never had any biological children. The only living heir now is Lauren Holt. She met Frances Tuttle and was officially adopted in 2006.
The judge said there was a will. Lauren confirmed that.
Exactly. But as far as I can tell, there is no will. Nothing was ever filed with the town clerk. No lawyer has stepped forward with a copy. Frances was in her late 80s when she passed, and she had a stroke a few years earlier. Maybe she was confused.
Are you saying you think that Lauren burned down her own house?
Sounds bizarre, I know. But it's the most likely scenario.
But why?
Because in Salem, a historic property is classified differently if it's a ruin versus being an intact structure. Without a will, a ruined property is preserved as is.
So Lauren could stay there.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think living in a charred-out building is great for your health, but it's a theory.
Okay. See if you can find out anything else. I'll meet you back at the Perry house later.
Okay. Bye, Nancy.
Hi again. It's me, Nancy Drew.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. Time difference. My bad.
No problem. I assume you are calling because you have questions?
Yeah, I do actually, if you don't mind.
Please, go ahead.
What do you know about hauntings, ghosts, and global witch trials?
Ah, well, Mosam Castle is one of the most haunted castles in the world. Unsurprising, considering the amount of war and bloodshed around the castle. Witches, werewolves, ghosts.
Werewolves too? Wow.
Yes, in the 19th century, deer and cattle were found torn apart in the area around the castle.
But that could have been any wild animal.
Indeed. Imagination runs wild when people are afraid.
Can you tell me more about the ghosts?
The reports are always similar. Sounds of bumps upstairs, footsteps in the hallways, doors opening and closing on their own. Some people feel a cold touch or a person breathing on them when nobody is near. Floating light orbs are also a common phenomenon in ghost sightings.
Do you believe these reports?
When claims remain this steady over the years, it's hard not to believe. But I do understand it is possible to fool your own senses when you expect something to happen. The mind is suggestible that way.
Ah. Like the way we recognize faces in random shapes and patterns. We look for sense in the incomprehensible.
Perhaps like that. I can't say for sure.
Thank you for your time. I gotta go.
You're welcome, Miss Drew. Let me know what you find out.
I will. Have a nice night.
Nancy!
Hey, How's it going? Find anything?
Nothing. Aside from the weird looks from the woman who lives here. Lauren Holt, I think her name was. To be fair, it looks like we're drilling for oil with all this equipment. Whoa! Cold spot! Grab that EMP meter, Frank! Quickly!
What, you mean this? It says EMF.
Yeah, that one!
This one? Or this one? This one? You're sure?
Yes!
Because I have these other devices here like ESP, or PSN, or NASA.
Come on, Frank, hurry! God, it's gone! We're going to have to be quicker to catch these paranormal phenomena.
Uh-huh. Oh, hey, Nancy, forgot to tell you. On the way into town, I spotted surveillance cameras on the outside of the courthouse. Try checking the footage. I'm sure they have cameras on the inside as well.
Yeah, good catch.
We'll let you know if we catch any phenomena.
Thanks. Talk soon.
Sorry to break it to you, but I'm ghosting you. Try again later. Or don't.
At least she's honest.
Hello.
Ned, hey.
You've reached the voicemail inbox of Ned Nickerson. I apologize that I did not come to the phone in a timely fashion.
Pick up your phone, Ned.
Thank you for calling, but I'm not here right now. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Please drop me a line after the beep.
Miss Drew, how can I help you?
Hi, Miss Cole.
Alicia, please.
Oh, same. Nancy.
Great. So what do you need, Nancy? Any more paper clips, staplers, or perhaps a hammer drill?
I'm more of a pneumatic nail gun type myself.
Ha ha, nice.
You have a hammer drill in here.
In my closet. I'm a bit of a home improvement junkie. You have to be when you live in a house built in the 1800s.
Well, thanks, but I don't need any of those things. I do have some questions, though. You mind if I take 5 minutes of your time?
Please. I don't mind.
I just met Jason Danforth.
What did you think? Kinda cute, huh?
Not the adjective I would use.
Different tastes.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like a fast food cheeseburger with extra cheese. And I'm more of a home-cooked meal kind of gal.
What can I say? I love cheese.
So you know him well?
I know him. He does odd jobs for me sometimes. Doesn't hurt that he's easy on the eyes. He is kinda dumb, though.
I wouldn't really know, to be honest.
Listen, spare yourself the headache and just avoid him. Trust me, not much substance. He loves his car. That's all you really need to know.
I'm sure you've heard about the burglary in the court's evidence room.
Yes, unbelievable. You know, I've started asking myself, what is happening to this town? It used to be such a safe place. And now we have arson and break-ins. I'm worried there's a pattern of escalation here. I mean, is this the kind of place I want to raise children in?
Oh, you're trying to start a family.
I mean, yes. But with the amount that I work, when is there any time? I barely have enough time to do my hair in the morning, let alone go on a date after work. And to be honest, the type of people living in a place like Salem is, well, not really what I'm into. How about you?
I have a boyfriend.
Really? He doesn't accompany you on your investigative trips?
Well, he's in college right now, and we see each other when we can.
Uh-huh. You been dating long?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Okay.
No one said it was easy. We figure out how to make it work.
All I'll say is, most men don't understand what we go through. We have to fight to get a seat at their table, and then they want us to go home and be family makers. Some unsolicited advice from one working woman to another? Don't let his plans get in the way of yours.
Of course, they don't. Do you know who has access to the evidence room?
As far as I know, just myself and the judge.
That's interesting.
Look, I don't like saying this, but the judge occasionally leaves the evidence room unlocked. The man even locked himself in his own office, for pity's sake. Not that it matters. I was told the burglar came from the outside.
So it's safe to say you weren't here during the theft?
Are you liking me for this crime, Nancy?
No, I don't like anyone for this crime. Or any other crime for that matter. Just doing my research.
I was not here. I was running errands around town. Busy, busy, busy.
Do you happen to have the code for the evidence room door?
Nope, sorry. He hasn't given that to me yet. And knowing him, he's probably already lost it.
Doing some follow-ups with the arson. Where were you that night?
Are you asking for my alibi?
Well, yes, if you don't mind.
I was at a charity fundraiser, saving the piping plovers. Anyone in this town that works in an official capacity can vouch for me. Are you interviewing any of them?
I don't think I'll need to.
I'm a little bit surprised you'd even ask.
Just being thorough.
I can respect that.
Why did you bring your hammer drill to the office?
Well, after the burglary, we realized that this place was in dire need of higher security. I ordered the keypad online and used the drill to mount it. I just keep forgetting to bring the drill back home with me.
That's impressive.
Yeah, still ended up calling a professional when the thing wouldn't stop beeping.
Would you mind telling me what you were doing 3 days ago?
3 days ago. All day, or...
Well, any info would be helpful.
Actually, why are you interested in this?
I was in Austria 3 days ago and witnessed a theft of a historical artifact there that, surprisingly, I believe is connected to this theft.
I see. I was talking to your father about that case.
Really?
Yeah. We chat sometimes. About work. Mostly.
Okay.
Ask him.
Sure.
You're a regular sleuth, aren't you? Picking up other cases now?
Not exactly. It's kind of related to the Hathorn house.
Yeah, let's see. I was home, watching Jason cut the stump out of my front yard.
You hired Jason Danforth for that?
He's cheap, and he can't say no, because he needs the money. Plus, I kinda like watching him suffer a little.
I wouldn't know why.
You know, I could use someone like you. A lawyer is always in need of a good private investigator. If your father would be okay with you working for someone else.
Alicia, I'm my own woman. I work for myself. But you've been very helpful, and I really appreciate it.
Good. Well, when you solve this case, let's talk.
What did you mean when you said the people here are not your type?
Oh, you probably know by now. You've been around town, right?
I have.
It's all people with minds as small as the town itself. I don't mean to sound harsh, but you can only meet so many with the same mindset before you see a pattern.
That's interesting. Did something happen?
Oh, nothing much. Sometimes I just wish this place would be a bit bigger, you know? More progressive. Imagine a revitalized town.
Do you think that could happen?
A woman can dream.
See you later. Judge Danforth's permission before I investigate the burglary. As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
That information isn't usually available to the public. I'm afraid I can't just take your word for it. I'll have it taken care of.
my girl doing?
Hey, Dad. I have a favor I need to ask you.
Of course. Shoot.
I need to investigate inside the Salem courthouse, specifically concerning the burglary in the evidence room. Do you think you could call Judge Danforth on my behalf and get his permission?
Not a problem. You know, this reminds me, next time you see him, you should bring up the Lake Winnipesaukee Regatta.
Dad!
Yeah?
Maybe later.
Sure thing. Talk soon.
As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
That information isn't usually available to the public. I'm afraid I can't just take your word for it. I'll have it taken care of.
You're all set.
Great. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else?
I'm just really proud of you, Nancy. I don't know how often I tell you that. I think it's not nearly enough.
Thanks, Dad. You know I learned it all from you, right?
Oh, now I know that's not true. The judge told me about a certain lock-picking incident. You certainly didn't learn that from me.
I may have picked up a few extra skills along the way.
I'd expect nothing less. Love you, kiddo. Go get him.
Judge? Everything okay?
What in the Sam heck is a Bitcoin?
A Bitcoin? It's a cryptocurrency.
A what?
It's a decentralized digital currency.
All these new made-up digital things just go too far, if you ask me. Nothing's ever been wrong with good old American Benjamins.
As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
Oh, yes, about that. Well, you see, I had it written on a post-it note, but I seem to have misplaced it. It should be around here somewhere. Feel free to look for it.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. I love a good scavenger hunt. There's a number written on here. No glass on the floor. So the window was broken from the inside. Need to get the list of the evidence that was stored here. A map of Salem. Need to get the list of the evidence that was stored here.
Whoa, what? We don't knock anymore?
You left your door open.
Actually, that was Damien Faulkner. He's my intern.
You have an intern? I haven't seen him.
He's around. Someone has to make the coffee here. I'm swamped most days, and I could barely trust Judge Danforth with a flashlight.
Oh, I mean, he's not that inept.
You're right. That was mean. Anyway, what can I help you with?
See you later. Do you happen to have a list of all the evidence that was stored here? Something before the break-in?
Yes, actually. You should be able to get it from the computer in the evidence room. Feel free to use the printer and take the list with you. I'm going out on a limb for you here. That sort of information isn't usually available to the public.
I understand. I'll keep the list close. Thank you. Who has access to the evidence room?
Oh, well, that would be me and Alicia. Why do you ask?
Just curious. Thanks. I'll come back later. Need to get the list of the evidence that was stored here.
Yes, can I help you?
See you later.
Hey, you reached Carson Drew's home number. For business inquiries, please call my office and I'll get back to you. Anyone else is welcome to leave a message after the beep.